Women make up 50.8% of the United States population and hold around 52% of all management and professional level jobs. However, women are not substantially represented in leadership positions. According to the Women's Leadership Gap, women only make up 22.7% of partners in legal professions, 16% of permanent medical school deans, 32% of professors, 24% of members of Congress, and 18% of governors. In addition to holding less leadership positions than men in the workplace, women also tend to be overshadowed in historic movements. For example, in the civil rights movement, many women played significant roles. However, their efforts were overlooked by men who tend to get all of the recognition for the success. However, now we are seeing a new movement where women are at the forefront, not men, and this is the immigration rights movement. The immigration rights movement emerged to protect immigrants from discrimination, such as being denied basic labor protections, mobility, education, and public services. Since the 1980s, when the last immigration law reform was passed, the movement has grown. However, in 2006, the movement grew even more after the Republican majority of the U.S. House of Representatives passed an anti-immigration legislation. As a response, up to 2 million people protested on the streets. There are a few reasons as to why women hold more significant leader positions than men, including the fact that this is a newer movement and that women experience a sense of empowerment when they migrate to the United States. However, one reason stands out. One thing immigrant women have that men do not is reproductive capital. During Trump's presidency, between 2017 and 2021, men were being deported with or without a criminal record at much higher rates than women, especially those with children. Children with citizenship are reproductive capital that can be turned into economic capital, and therefore the mothers of these children are treated better than men or parents without children with citizenship. According to Ruscio, mothers of citizens are less at risk of deportation and therefore can participate in the immigration rights movement without fear of being sent back to their original country. The same is not true for men. One example of where reproductive capital worked in the favor of migrating women was in Austin, Texas. A mother of children with citizenship was pulled over and surrounded by 3 police cars. However, when she told them she had children and was going to pick them up from school, they let her go. There are some issues that arise with reproductive capital being a reason why we see more female participation in the immigration rights movement. Women entering the United States with children were being detained with some of the highest rates of bond compared to single women. This is because single women had the ability to have children with citizenship and produce reproductive capital that would later benefit the economy. Also, while some women participated in the civil rights movement, sometimes with their children, other women who were not citizens who had children that were also non-citizens were held in detention centers. One reason behind why this may be is the concept between legal and illegal immigrants. Some argue that the idea of legal and illegal immigrants is socially constructed. When initially judging someone who is an illegal immigrant, common observers and even authorities typically do not rely on an individual's documentation. Instead, people rely on shared stereotypes to assign illegality to certain bodies. Gender and race can play into if an individual is viewed as legal or not. Something I've questioned is why don't men of citizen children receive some benefits because they are fathers of citizens? In one study conducted by Sarah Gallo, she examines the realities behind the current immigration policies that class illegal with Mexican immigrant. Every family interviewed had a story about a loved one being stopped and undergoing the deportation process, and it was always a Mexican-looking man. This article argues that the current immigration policies disproportionately target Mexican-looking men over women. This contributes to why women participate more in the movement because they are less targeted. In addition, some people have speculated that migrant women abuse their ability to have children in the United States to attempt gaining citizenship for themselves and potentially other family members. In Chino Hills, Los Angeles, California, members caught wind of a house that accommodated 10 pregnant Chinese women at a time until they gave birth. Individuals viewed this as an instance of illegal immigration as the women wanted to gain citizenship for their children and possibly themselves at some point. Going back to the central theme of the research regarding women having higher participation rates and holding more leadership positions with men, I want to recognize how people feel about this because it is new. While it is important for both genders to be represented, some argue that immigrant women may be the best group to solve the issue of immigration. The reasoning behind this is due to the concept of intersectionality, which is the concept that various social and political identities result in unique combinations of discrimination and privilege. The Asian Immigrant Women's Association believes that these women's experiences at the intersections of sexism, racism, class oppression, nativism, and language discrimination equip them with evidence, ideas, insights, and ambitions that can help solve serious social problems. This is because they can reveal how power works in certain systems and understand better what actually needs to change. Overall, the immigration rights movement is a growing movement with many different components and factors. However, one of the most outstanding is the presence of women and why.